Final Fantasy XV. 10 years in development, around 30 hours to complete the main storyline, and one of the biggest titles Square Enix has ever released. And yet, it remains one of the more controversial releases as well. But rather than get bogged down in the details of that installment, we're going to look into what we think Square Enix can learn from the development and release of Final Fantasy XV going forward. Hi, I'm Interslicery with the Lifestream.net. Let's dive into it. Perhaps one of the most striking aspects of the Final Fantasy XV experience was that game's in-game focus on other games.
It just occurred to me, but this is totally like King's Knight!
Final Fantasy XV included a number of smaller games that characters enjoyed playing in their spare time. And what is actually fun and interesting is how you, the player, could enjoy these games as well. There was a pinball game variation called Justice Monsters 5, and a pseudo-remake re-release of a 30-year-old RPG called King's Knight, Wrath of the Dark Dragon. The latter was poorly received in Japan and never saw a Western release. That being said, the foundation is there for something grand. Imagine a Gold Saucer arcade, brimming with tie-ins and extras. The snowboarding minigame from the original title already had a fairly popular mobile version, so hopefully we could be seeing an update of that, to say nothing of Final Fantasy VII G-Bike, a high-definition, massive expansion on the motorcycle minigame from the original game. G-Bike was a fast-paced, fun experience, and it would take but a few tweaks to include it in the new arcade and possibly have it connected to your mobile device as well. And just beyond that, there's the idea of tying games and related media. Final Fantasy XV gave us an embarrassment of riches in this regard. We had a fishing game, a multi-episode anime series, a full CGI film, a prequel game, a prequel demo, and more. As the West never saw a release of Before Crisis, a mobile prequel title, it's been in much demand here, but given the split reaction to the Final Fantasy VII compilation and the various media contained within the Final Fantasy XV universe, it may be better to avoid the concept altogether. It might, instead, be worthwhile to focus on making Final Fantasy VII Remake a singular, fantastic experience on its own, and we have a few ideas on that matter as well. Kingdom Hearts 3 had team attack commands, allowing Sora to combine with Donald and Goofy to create massive area of effect attacks, as the trio performed some incredible maneuvers as a group. With Final Fantasy VII, there are 9 main characters, meaning there is even more room for possible combinations, assuming they keep the maximum party size at 3. As they are already including limit breaks and alternate powerful attacks, would this be overkill? We're not sure, but it would be a fun inclusion. Along those same lines, what about basic party interactions? In the teaser trailer, we heard Barrett yelling during a battle scene. So in addition to battle commentary, it would be great if our characters conversed in general. We all remember the hilarious dialogue during the climb up the stairs on the attack on Shinra headquarters. But what if our characters always had conversations? And what if those conversations could vary depending on who was in the party at any given time? Of course, all of this is simply conjecture and wishful thinking, and it depends greatly upon the resource management of the team involved in the Final Fantasy VII Remake. If the remake is coming in 2019, that would indicate they've done the job in half the time it took to do Final Fantasy XV. But nothing is really certain, other than it would seem a great deal of Square Enix's eggs are in the Final Fantasy VII Remake basket.
We're paying you more than a few gil. You best be worth it.
But without the level of transparency Hajime Tabata gave us in regards to Final Fantasy XV in the active time reports, it's anyone's guess. Which is why we'd like to see something similar done with the Final Fantasy VII Remake. But what do you all think? Are you looking forward to more spin-offs or no? Has the last few years' long drought left you now thirsty for frequent updates? Let us know. As always, we'll see you around.